Hey there YouTube. I was interested in showing you all this 2002 Toyota Echo with 137,000 miles. Now this was the most inexpensive Toyota. It was their only subcompact after the discontinued Tercel. It's very spiffy looking. You can obviously tell that this is the most basic model that you could ever ask for, with its hubcaps. One of them missing, of course, though it looks sexier that way, for the reason that the steel wheel looks better than the hubcaps. To be quite honest, you really don't see that many anymore for obvious reasons. Heck, I see older Tercels than Echoes, so that explains a whole lot. I assume most of you can also recall the same situation. Looking back, not really much more to say other than that it looks a lot like a Geo Metro. I guess that was the styling that they were after. There's really nothing else in the lineup that looks like this. Now Echo, Spanish beaners like me would call this hecho, which means made, and say porqueria, which means crap or junk, and they'd say hecho porqueria. It's made like crap. So that's one thing many Spanish people say about the Echo. Those massive 14-inch wheels, 175 65 14s by the way. Drum brakes, of course. His door was so light. Anyways, take a look inside. Really not a whole lot to say. The seats really don't have much of a texture to them. They are just flat. The recliner to the backrest and the mechanism to move the seat back and forth. The door panel, you cannot ask for anything else. It's just all plasticky. They coated this with cloth, of course, but it's not padded whatsoever. You have crank windows and manual mirrors. You have to move them around with your hand. Whew, the carpeting here is destroyed. It looks like they just coated it with a little bit of insulation and a paper towel. I think a Bounty paper towel would have been more durable than this. Here's the keys. Start it up. There's no tack to look at. You just have that instrument cluster to look at in the center. Now I remember the Echo when it was introduced. I saw it at the Miami Auto Show. That was over a decade ago. And at the time I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, it was such a small car and you had loads of headroom. A basketball player could have sat in here and still have headroom to spare. And I'm 6'1" right now and I can sit comfortably in here. There's lots of legroom and you can still roll the seat quite far back. That's one of the cool things about this car. Other than that, this really is the most bare bones car that you could have gotten them days, aside from a Kia or something like that. These seats are actually very soft. They just put lots of foam in there to make up for possibly the harsh ride that I assume this car has. I've never ridden or driven inside one of these, thank goodness. There's lots of legroom, though my leg does crash into the shifter. If I have my foot on the brake, I can just put my knee on the shifter and put it into drive, as you guys saw. This has a 4-speed automatic, by the way. There's not a whole lot of shoulder room, so I guess those of you who have excessively sweaty pits will suffer in this car because you really cannot open up to catch some air. There are really no highlights in terms of interior qualities in this little puppy. The entire dashboard is plasticky, probably made from recycled Legos. Everything snaps together like Legos. This thing just pops right out easily like that. That was quite interesting. That's the first time I just discovered that. Over here, you have this cool upper cubby over here. I love how it just opens up with the hinges like that. Slams right down, as you guys saw. The glove box, pretty large for what it is. Lots of storage. There's more cubbies throughout this car than an S-Class or BMW 7 Series. The simplest climate control that you could ever ask for. The hazards, air recirculation. This car actually has CD. That's quite interesting. Was a smoker, ashtray, dual cup holders down below. Again, the 4-speed automatic with overdrive, e-brake, no armrest or anything like that. Turn off the hazards. The steering wheel only tilts, it does not telescope. It is thick, by the way, but you can just see it's so greasy and dirty, as you guys can make out. Headlights and wipers right there. It's not intermittent speed. It just has low and high and just a mist like that. The panel dim, coin holder. Headliner is like a bulletin board. You can just put a thumbtack in there and just post whatever reminders you'd wish. Save yourself some stickies and stick to the old-fashioned way. There's no mirror, it seems. Yep, there was no mirror. The previous owner actually added this clip-on mirror. And the driver does have a mirror, fortunately. This is one of those sun visors that you can easily bend. It's just a metal wire around the perimeter and the inside is just foam. Again, this door is so light, materials do carry over to the back seat when it comes to the door panel. You can see the door lock pin just dancing as if this were the lambada. The back seat, believe it or not, is cushiony, though it won't be the most comfortable place. It's not split fold, nor is there an armrest. Legroom actually isn't too bad. Even though my leg is cramming in here, I will admit I had the seat positioned back a little bit further back than I would have wished. Though if all the passengers in this car were, I'd say, 5'6", everybody would fit comfortably in here, believe it or not. Trunk. Also, this trunk is just so light. Your fingers. This trunk is actually pretty large for what it is. It's tall, wide, deep. Should have its spare. Just a little tiny donut in there. I assume the tools are stowed here to the side. Yep, there's a jack. There you go. Sounded like two soda cans slamming together. 1.5 liter, dual overhead cam, 4-cylinder, has independent variable valve timing, 108 horsepower at 6,000 and 105 foot-pounds of torque at 4,200 RPMs. Funny how the current 2012 Mazda 2 with the same sized engine, and they manage 100 horsepower, and this thing is a decade older and has more power with an engine of the same displacement. I absolutely don't get it. Echo power, yeah! Windows closed. It feels as if I'm sitting atop the engine. It's just so loud. Anyways, YouTube, I just wanted to show you around this car, as it's not that often you run into them or see them for obvious reasons, and I just wanted to take the opportunity. So guys, thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this tour.